In this video, I'm going to talk about how you can install WordPress themes automatically. Themes are what WordPress call the template for your WordPress blog. So it's the general appearance of the site is governed by the theme. To add a new theme to your WordPress blog, come over here to where it says Appearance, and it opens up here on Themes. And you've got two tabs here, Manage Themes and Install Themes, and you can see the current theme displayed here. So click on the Install Themes tab, and you can either search the themes that are on the wordpress.org site, upload them from your hard drive, and so on. What I'm going to do here is actually search for one on the WordPress site, and it'll automatically link to it. Let's say I want one that's green. I can filter them out by colors if I want as well, but I'll just this way so you can see the types of themes that you get. So click on search, and you can see here we have a wide variety of different themes. Whole lot there. Okay, the one that I'm going to install is this one here, greener side. So I can preview it by clicking here, and you can see it opens up this little pop-up window to give me an idea as to what the theme will look like. I'll just close that. I'll go ahead and install it. So just click here on the install link, and then click Install Now. And there we go, that's all installed. I just need to click here to activate it. There we go, and then if I go back to the themes, there we are. We've got here, it's all set now as the current theme. So if I go ahead and preview it, what I can do, I'll just open a new tab and go to the main page. And there we go. You can see here we've got the new theme installed, and all it takes is a couple of mouse clicks to get it all installed. If your web hosting account doesn't come with Fantastico or any other type of script to install WordPress automatically, you can still have it on your site by installing it manually, and I'm going to talk you through how to do it in this video. There are a couple of things that you must do first before you go to the WordPress site and download the software and then set up the settings and upload it to your website. Basically, you have to create a MySQL database for your blog, and you must create a user for that MySQL database. But it is actually quite a simple thing to do. If your web hosting package comes with cPanel, it's quite simple to do. Simply log into your control panel and scroll down to the bit that says Databases. Then click here where it says MySQL Database Wizard. Opens up this window, and then you need to give a new name to the database. The first part of the database will be set by your hosting company. So there'll be their name or your domain name, and then a dash, and then you can enter your database. Let's call this Sam's blog, and click on Next Step. Then you need to create a username, and once again the username's prefix is going to be set by your hosting company. So let's call this Sam001. and then the password, you can enter your own password, or you can click here on password generator and it'll generate a password for you. You need to make a note of this because you'll need it later on when we set up the WordPress installation file. So let's just copy that onto the clipboard. I'm going to say I've copied the password to a safe place, click on use password, and there we go. Now I just need to copy all this information into a notepad file so that I can make a note of it and use it later on. So let's just do that. Let's open up Notepad. That's 001. Okay, now to save that, and then when that's done, simply click here on Create User to create the account. If your web hosting package comes with the Extend control panel, then the process is a bit simpler. What you do is come down to where it says Web Tools, click here on MySQL databases, and with this, what it does is it creates a database which has the same name as the actual username. So the database name and the username are the same, all bar the front part, which will be set by the hosting provider. So if I create a username that says Sam001 and enter a password, you have to enter your own one here, and then click on Create. There we go, that database is created. And you can see I've just scrolled down a bit and it's giving it the prefix web156 username, password. And this will be the same for both, as I said, the username and password and database name rather will be exactly the same. So I would need to copy and paste that into the WordPress configuration file. If your hosting account comes with the Plesk Parallels panel, then the setup procedure is similar to that if you've got cPanel. You click here on Databases, and then click Add New Database. Opens up this window. You type in the database name. Again, let's call this Sam's blog. And then click on OK. And there we go. The database has been created. Now I need to add a new database user. So click here on Add New Database User. And we add the username. So let's call that Sam001 again. And then you can put in the new password. You have to write it yourself here. And then click on OK. And there you are. Now that's all set up. Okay, now your databases are set up. The next stage is to download the WordPress software to your computer's hard drive. So come here to this website, wordpress.org/download, and then click on the button that says Download WordPress, and it will have the latest version. At the time that I'm recording this video, it's version 3.2.1, although it may be a later one by the time you come to watch it. So just simply click to download it to your hard drive. It's quite a large file. As you can see there, it's 3 megabytes, so it can take a while to download if you're on a slow connection. Just click there. This pop-up window opens, and make sure the Save File radio button is selected and click on OK. And you can see it's downloading now. And there we are, that's finished. So all I need to do now is unzip it onto my computer's hard drive. And when it's unzipped, it'll look like this. It'll yield a directory called WordPress with these subdirectories and all these PHP files. Okay, first thing you have to do to set this up is to rename this file here. It says wp-config-sample.php, and you want to rename that just wp-config.php. You want to drop the sample bit. And then you want to open it using a program like Notepad or something like that. So just double click on that. I've got it associated to open up with Notepad. And you can see this is the PHP code for the file, the installation file. And you need to make a couple of changes. Most of the stuff here below here would not need to be changed, but you do need to change these settings here, the database name, username, password, and so on. Mostly your database host will be localhost, so you can leave that unless your server uses a different type of host name, and all the rest of the stuff you can leave. And this is why you need to save the information as you set up the databases. So let's just copy and paste those in. We can have the database name there. Do right click and copy. And then I can just simply paste it in there. Keep it in between the quotes there. So that's one. Okay, next thing to do is to put in these authentication keys and so on. Now, there is a quick way of doing this, and this is to generate your own phrases at this link here. So if I just copy and then right click, copy that, and now I just need to, I don't close that one now, I need to open up Firefox, and then I can simply paste this in to the address bar. And there we go, it's generated all this information for me. So I just highlight that and copy it, and then I can come back here and just simply paste this in as a block in here, like that. And there we go, that's all done. You don't need to change anything else at all. So I can now save that, do File and Save, and now I need to FTP, you can close that, and now I need to FTP all this content here up to my web server. You can use the file manager in your control panel to do this, but it can be a bit tricky as you'll have to create all the folders separately and then upload everything into each separate folder. So it's much easier if you use an FTP software package. The one that I like to use is FileZilla, which you can download for free from this website here, filezilla-project.org. And it just makes the whole process that much simpler. And this is what FileZilla looks like when it's up and running. I'm going to create a new directory on the server to install WordPress into. If you're going to have it as the main focus of your site, then you'd want to upload it into the root directory of your site. So if you're just going to have WordPress on your site, you'd want to upload it into the root directory of the site. On this particular server, they call it HTTP docs. On most other servers, they call it public HTML. Okay, so I'm going to right click and create directory, and we'll call this WordPress. And then click on OK. And what I can then do is simply open it up. Click on WordPress. You can see there's nothing there. FileZilla is actually a very easy type of FTP software to use. Once you've logged in, you'll find your remote site over here on the right and the local site here on the left. And what you do is go to the directory on your hard drive where you want to upload the information, and you can then simply highlight all of it. Click the first one, then do Shift and click, and that selects all of it. Then right click and click on Upload, and it will immediately start to upload the files that you've selected into the directory that you've selected on your hosting account. Okay, as you can see, there are 933 files to be transferred. It's going to take a while to do this, so what I'm going to do now is just pause the video and then come back to it when everything has been uploaded. And there we go, everything's uploaded. Exactly how long this will take will depend a lot on the speed of your internet connection. If you have a super fast broadband, it'll only take a few minutes. On regular broadband, it can take about 15 to 20 minutes. On a dial-up account, it can take a lot longer. In fact, there is such a lot of data here that your dial-up might time out and you'll have to reload it. But the good thing about FileZilla is it will tell you if any transfers have failed so that you can upload them again. Okay, that's all done, so what I need to do now is log off the server and log on to the setup for WordPress. Okay, you need to come here to this page, the installation page, which will be your URL. In this particular case, it's anothercompany.co.uk. If you've got it installed in a subdirectory, like I have here, which is WordPress, you need to come to that and then wp-admin/install.php. If you're installing this in the root directory, of course, you wouldn't have the WordPress directory. You just go to your URL /wp-admin/install.php. Then you need to fill in this information here. You want the site title. Let's call this Sam's blog. Username, the default one is admin and it's best to leave it at that. You can always add new ones later. You want the password. And then put it in again. Your email address. And then you want to either check or uncheck this box here, allow my site to appear in search engines like Google and Technorati. Good idea to say yes. And then simply click on this button here, Install WordPress. And there we go, WordPress has been installed, so I can click here on the Login button. Enter the username and password. And click on Login. And there we are. It's all set up. And if I log out again, and just go to the main site here. There we go. There's the blog all installed. So there you go. That's how you can install WordPress manually if you don't have the luxury of an auto install script. So it's not all that difficult really. In this video I'm going to show you how to add a YouTube video into a WordPress blog post. And the simplest way to do it is actually to use the code that YouTube provides you with. If I come to youtube.com, here is a test video that I made a while back, and if you come down to where it says share and click on that, and then click on where it says embed, you get this code. And what you should do, I generally like to uncheck that one so I don't show other videos from other people, and then highlight this and copy it to my computer's clipboard like that. Then go back to your blog and come down to posts and add new, and give the blog post a title. Let's call this YouTube video. And we can enter a bit of text in here. And then hit the carriage return or enter so that your cursor here is on a new line. You've got a new line here. Then go over here to the HTML tab and click on that, and then come down so that you're underneath this code, this bit of code here, and then paste in the code that you got from YouTube. So Control and V. And then when I preview it, you can see that this video is now embedded into my blog. And if I press play, okay, this is a simple YouTube test video that I'm putting together just to demonstrate how you can upload a video to YouTube. And there you go, you can see the video plays. So let's just close that. And if I wanted to add any more information in, I can come here to Visual, and it's already got it marked out, so I can add some other stuff in if I want, or I can enter it underneath the HTML code. If you're familiar with HTML code, you can simply type it in and then click on Publish, and there we are. And if I click on View Post, there we are, there's your YouTube video inserted into the post. Very simple, and this is a much simpler way of doing it than the one that WordPress recommended you do. To install a new page in WordPress, from the dashboard, click here where it says Pages, and then select Add New. Opens up this page here, and you can enter the title. So let's call this one Contact Details. Actually, just call it Contact. And then I'm going to enter the information in here. I've actually got this saved, so I'm going to copy and paste it. So I just do Control and V. This is not a real address or phone number, so please don't call it because you won't get through. And just need to enter my email address. Now if I want to preview this, I can click here on the preview button. And we see here, there's all my contact details. So I can close this now. There's no parent because this is the first one, unless you want to have it as the sample page as the parent. So I can actually put it as a sample page. And you can also have it as a different template to the rest of your blog. I'm going to leave it as the default template for this demonstration. And when that's all done, I can click here on Publish. And there we go. It's published, and if I click here on View Page, you can see there we are. There's the new page automatically installed, and you can see you've got the URL here as well. In this video, I'm going to show you how to edit your WordPress themes CSS style. Now, there are thousands upon thousands of themes for WordPress available online, and I'm sure you'll find one that sort of fits your needs, but no matter how hard you try, I'm sure you'll find that whatever theme that you decide to choose for your blog, there's going to be something about it that you might like to change. You might like to change, say, the typeface, or you might like to change the picture that's on there, or some of the layout and so on. And if there is something about your WordPress theme that you'd like to change, this is how you do it. What you have to do first of all is to make some changes to the permissions of the CSS page, the CSS style sheet, so that you can alter it. And you do this either by using an FTP software package like FileZilla, or you can use the file manager settings on your control panel, either on cPanel, or as in this particular site it uses extended control panel. And you need to look for where the theme that you are going to edit is stored on your server. And in this particular one, it's in public HTML blog, WP-content, themes, and then the theme that I'm going to edit, which is 2010. And you want to scroll down until you find a page that is called style.css. Now, depending on the theme that you have, because all themes are slightly different, this particular file might be called something else, but it will end in .css. You'll see there's lots of different files that make up a WordPress theme. And you need to change the permissions to make it editable. So what you have to do on this particular file manager that I'm using is you right click and then come down to where it says chmod. If you're using a different type of FTP software, then you should refer to the instructions for how you change the permissions. And you want to change the permissions to 777. And this means that it can be read, executed, and written by everybody. Some shared hosting packages won't allow you to change your permissions to 777, in which case you should contact the administrator and ask him or her which permission set you can use to do this. I've got it set to 777, so I'm going to click on Save. And there you go. You can see that is now changed to 777. Okay, so I'm coming back now to the dashboard, and we're coming down to Appearance, Themes. I've got the current theme selected, and then I come down here to Editor and click on that link there. And this window opens up, and you can see the various templates that come included with the theme. Make sure that the theme that you're going to edit is the right one, and you can choose them from a drop-down menu, but we're going to keep it here on 2010. Okay, first thing, very important, you need to save this, because once you've committed yourself to changing it, that's it, you can't undo it. But if you already have it saved somewhere else, you can simply restore it back to the way it was, back to the default setting. The easiest way of doing that is to click here in this inner window, right click, do select all, then right click again and copy, and then you want to paste it into a text file. So let's just open up the text editor, just opening up Notepad, and then paste it in, Control and V, and now I'm going to just save it onto my desktop, and I'm going to call this Style CSS, and then just save that. Okay, that's saved now, and I can close that down. Alright, this is the CSS style sheet. If you're familiar with CSS, it should be quite easy to follow. If you're not, it can look a bit daunting, but it really is actually quite straightforward. At the top here, you'll have some information about the style sheet. You don't really need to worry about that. None of this is going to need to be changed, and in fact, sometimes with the license, like for example if it's under a GNU public license, then you must leave this as it is. This is all part of the terms and conditions. And if I scroll down here a bit, you can see all the different things that there are. You see it tells you that the layout is 2 columns, and it gives you the code for the columns. You've got the sidebars or not, and again it gives you the whole lot of things here, like the width of the sidebar. Here you've got 900 pixels, and if we go a bit further down, it has things like the font sizes and weights, etc. There's a whole lot of different stuff that you can find here, and then it just basically gives you everything that you need to know to completely customize it. For example, you change the background colors. This is the hexadecimal code for the various colors that you have. The margins, for example, here you've got 20 pixels for the margins left and right, and padding and so on. And if you want to make any changes, all you have to do is just simply type them in. Like, let's say I want to make the left margin 10 pixels, and we'll make the right margin 30 pixels to compensate. I can simply do it just like that, and then when I've finished making all my changes, I can come down here and click on Update File, and there you go, it says the file has been edited successfully. After you've finished editing, you should go back into your control panel or to your FTP software and change this permission back to 644, and this will prevent anybody from hacking into your style sheet and changing it in a way that you might not want. CSS is quite an involved subject, so if you'd like to learn more about it, there are lots of resources available online. Just do a search in Google for free CSS tutorial and you'll find quite a number. As you can see, there's about 13 million according to this search result here. There are some that you have to pay for, but there are, as you can see here, quite a lot that you can get for free. In this video, I'm going to show you how to add and manage users in WordPress. Now, when you first set up your WordPress blog, it will automatically set up the administrator setting so that you can access the back office part, the dashboard, and you can make any changes that you want to make to your WordPress blog and so on. But you might want to allow extra people to access your WordPress blog, and you might want to restrict what they can and cannot do. And you can do this very, very simply. From the dashboard, come down here to Users and click, and then you can see it will list all the users. If you want to add a new user, click here on Add New, and you add the username. So let's call this person Fred, and an email address. And we can add their first name, let's call them Fred as well. And their last name is Smith. And they don't have a website, so we'll leave that one blank. Put in the password. And repeat it. And there we go. And you can decide whether you want to send the user their password by email. Seeing as this is a fake name, I'm not going to check that. And then you want to select the role that this new person is going to have, and you select that from the drop down menu here. And this is actually very important, because there are different roles allow people to have access to different parts of the site. For example, an administrator is someone who has access to all of the features on the site. If someone is an editor, that means that they can publish and manage posts and pages, as well as manage other users' posts and so on. An author is someone who can publish and manage their own posts but can't do anything else. And a contributor is someone who can write and manage their own posts but they can't publish them. And a subscriber is someone who can only manage their own profile. They can't do anything else. They can read your blog but nothing else. Okay, I'm going to assign this person the role of author. So we can click there and then click on Add a New User. And there we go. You can see there's the admin and there's Fred, our new user. Okay, if I just log out, okay, I'll now log in with the new username and password, and then click on Login. And you can see that the dashboard is somewhat restricted. This person can add new posts and can view posts. They can input media. They can look at comments. And they can update their profile, and they can look at tools, but they can't do anything else. They can't change the theme or anything like that, and they can't add any new users. Okay, let's log out. And I'll now log back in as the administrator. And log in again. And let's add another user. Just scroll down a bit here. Users. And let's add another new user. And let's call this new user Jane. And her email . And we'll just put in the password. And let's give this person just the role of subscriber. So click there, add new user. And there we can see Jane added in. Okay, I'll just log out. And there we are. And I can log in again as Jane. And there you go, you can see that Jane's options are very limited indeed. All she can do is update her profile and her contact information. Okay, if I just log out again, and log in as administrator, one other thing that I'll show you is if you want to delete a user, come over here to users. It lists all of them here, and if you want to delete them, just simply click on the delete link, and then it gives you some options. You can delete all posts and links, or you can change the attribution of the posts and links, and you can choose it from the drop down menu there. I'm going to delete all posts and links, so confirm deletion, and there you are. Fred has been removed from the list. So there you go. This is how you can add and manage users in WordPress. In this video, I'm going to show you how to back up your WordPress blog. And you should back up your WordPress blog regularly so that if anything happens to the server, you have a copy of your backup. The simplest way to back up your blog is from your control panel. I'm going to use cPanel for this demonstration, but if you have another type of control panel, the procedure is quite similar. Okay, in cPanel, come down here to where it says Files, and then click here on Backup Wizard. And it gives you the steps here. You can back up or restore. And what you want to back up really are the two things that you need for your WordPress blog to work are the home directory and the MySQL databases. The things like email forwarders configuration and email filters configuration are more to do with the actual running of your website. So we click on Backup, and then you can choose whether or not to do a full or a partial backup. Personally, I would do a full backup to begin with and partial backups later on. And as it says on the screen here, you can only use this to move your accounts to another server or to keep a local copy of your files. But it's useful to have just for safety, just in case everything crashes. Otherwise, I would just simply do a home directory backup and backups of your MySQL databases. And what you do is simply click here where it says Home Directory, and then you want to download it to your computer's hard drive, so click on this button here. This pop-up window opens. Make sure that the Save File Radio button is selected, and then click here on OK to download it. The next section to download is the MySQL databases, so just click here on MySQL databases, and you can see that this particular website has a number of MySQL databases. Unless you've got a really extensive website, yours probably won't have quite so many. The procedure is pretty much the same. Decide which MySQL database you're going to download. Right click, select Save Link As if you're using Firefox. If you're using Internet Explorer, it will say Save Target As. Click once. This pop-up window opens up, and then just simply click on Save to save this to your computer's hard drive. Once you've got WordPress set up the way you want it, once you've got the theme that you like and you've got all the widgets and plugins and everything that you like all sorted out, and you've downloaded it as a home directory backup, the only things that really change on a day-to-day basis when you're making your posts are the MySQL databases. Now you can go ahead and back up the MySQL databases from cPanel like I've just shown you, but there is an easier way of doing it, and that's by using a plugin. And the plugin that I have in mind is this one. It's called the WordPress Database Backup, and it backs up the tables and everything in your MySQL databases, and it's called WP-DB Backup, and you download it from this site here, austinmazzucco.com/WP-DB-backup. And you have to download this and install it manually, and then activate it, and once it's done you'll see it here in your plugins menu. And you'll also, when you click on Tools, when it comes down to Available Tools, you'll see here it says Backup. So click on there to configure it, and you can see it will enable you to download your WordPress database tables. You can exclude spam comments from the WP comments and exclude post revisions from WP posts if you want. And then you have the backup options. What you can do is you can download it onto your server, download it onto your computer, or email the backup either to the email address that you've already got configured as part of your WordPress blog, or to any other address that you want, really. And once you've selected the option you want, click on Backup Now. In this particular case, I'm going to download it to my computer, and you can see it's going through all the various sections, backing up the tables, etc. It takes just a few moments. I'm doing this in real time. I'm not pausing the video or anything. And then you can save it to your computer's hard drive just by clicking on OK. And there we go, it's taking a while to scan it for viruses on my computer. And there we are. All downloads are complete. The other thing that you can do with this plugin is that you can schedule a backup at a particular time. So you can then have the backup emailed to you as an attachment. This is all right, I suppose, when your WordPress blog doesn't have a lot on it, but after you've got, several years of comments on it or several years of postings, you might find that this file gets a bit big. But when you're starting out, it's not a bad idea to do this. You can schedule when you want it, either never or hourly, which I think would probably be a bit excessive, or twice daily. For most people, I would think the two options that you'd want to choose will either be once daily or once weekly. And again, you choose your particular email address. Let's say I want to have it done every week. Click here on Schedule Backup, and there you go. The Schedule Backup options are saved. One thing I would do, if you decide to change your theme or you decide to add some more plugins to your blog, you should go ahead and do a home directory backup from cPanel, just to be on the safe side. But this is how you can create backups for your WordPress blog. In this video, I'm going to show you how to upgrade or delete plugins automatically. First thing to do is to go to the main plugins page. So select plugins from the side menu here. And to update plugins, the simplest way is to select the plugin you want to update just by this little checkbox here, or you can check up here and that selects all of them, and then come up here, it says bulk actions, and then select update, and then select apply, or click on apply rather. And here we go, it's telling me that my plugin, all these plugins are the latest version, which is what I would expect because this is a brand new install. However, if I'd had this blog running for a couple of months, then some of the plugins may have gone out of date by that time, and then I could simply update them very easily just with that one click. Let's just go back to the main page here, and let's say I want to delete a plugin. I don't use it, so I want to get rid of it. I can do it either the same way. I can select the checkbox and then select from the menu here, or I can just simply click on the delete button here, or delete tab there, and it says, are you sure you wish to delete these files? Click on yes, and there you go, it's deleted. In this video I'm going to show you how to get and use gravatars in your WordPress blog. Gravatars are globally recognized avatars, and it allows you to place this avatar beside posts in blogs and other sites. If you haven't got a gravatar already, it's very easy to get one. Just come here to gravatar.com, and if you have a wordpress.com blog, then you can sign up and you're automatically enrolled. So just put in your wordpress.com username and password. So I'll just do that for mine here, and then log in. If you don't have a wordpress.com blog, then it's quite easy to sign up for a Gravatar account. All you do is enter your email address, and they'll send you a link to that email address. You click on it, you enter your username and password, and then hey presto, you're signed up. Okay, once you're signed up and logged in, you can upload an image that you're going to use as your gravatar. So what you can do, click here, and then you can either use an image off the internet, you can use your webcam or a previously uploaded image, or probably the most common way of doing it is to upload one from your computer's hard drive. So let's just do that now and browse to find where the file is. And this window opens up, and this is the gravatar I'm going to use, which is a picture, and it's this one here, new video for you JPEG. So click there to open it, and then click on next, and there's a photo. This isn't what I look like, but it'll do for these purposes. And what you can then do is center the image or get it looking like you want the image to look like. So there we go, that looks all right. And then click here on crop and finish. Then you want to choose a rating for your gravatar. As you can see here, a G-rated gravatar will display on all websites with any audience type. PG, you can have a rude gesture or something. R, you see harsh profanity, and X-rated, well, this guy's wearing clothes, so I think we can say it's a G-rated avatar. And there we go, that's all sorted. So that's the first stage all done. So I can now log out, and then I can get it all set up on my WordPress blog, which is the next stage. By default, all the latest versions of WordPress have the ability to use gravatars built into them, but you might need to modify some templates to make them work. So the easiest way to activate gravatars on your WordPress blog is by using a plugin, and the one that I recommend is this one, Easy Gravatars by Dougal Campbell. and you can either install it from the plugins menu here, or if you come here to the wordpress.org site, Easy Gravatars is the one to search for. And once it's activated, it will mean that when people make posts, and in particular when they make comments on your WordPress blog, then the gravatar will show up. Let me just demonstrate here. If I come here to posts, and I'll make a new post, add new, and I'm going to say gravatars are cool. And I'm just going to say here, gravatars are cool. And when I preview it, you'll see it's got my gravatar up there in the corner. Now, as I've made this post, you can see that it's not actually showing up my gravatar. However, let me just post this and I'll show you what else happens. Okay, let's publish this post. There we are, gravatars are cool. Now I'm going to log out, and I'm going to log in as another user. I set up another user called Jane. And I'm going now to get her to comment on this particular post, and you'll see her gravatar. If I click here, copy, open up a new tab, now you can see it's got her gravatar up there as well. Click on here to comment. I'm going to have her say yes they are. And there you go, you can see it's posted her gravatar. Now if I get her, if we go to dashboard and have her make a post, what's your gravatar look like? Comment here. We'll publish that. And now I'm going to log out as Jane and log back in as admin. And again, and I'll post a comment. And there you go. There's my gravatar as well. And everybody who posts a comment on your blog will leave their gravatar, and when you post comments on other people's blogs, you can leave your gravatar as well. So there you go, that's how you can get and use gravatars with your blog. In this video I'm going to show you how to insert Google Adsense ads into blog posts. Now, Google Adsense ads in the middle of your blog post are a great way of maximizing the revenue from your blog. There are lots of different ways that you can add AdSense into a blog post, but a lot of them require you to actually tinker around with the PHP code of your blog, which I don't really recommend because there are easier ways of doing it. one of which is using a plugin, and that's what I'm going to cover in this particular video. Okay, I've created an ad block in my Google Adsense account, and I've selected this size 336 by 280, and I'm keeping the default Google palette with one exception. I'm changing the title color so that it fits in better with my WordPress theme. So I've done that, so I'm going to click here where it says Get Code, and this is the ad code. So I'm now going to copy that, copy all of that, highlight it, right click on my PC and select copy, copy that to my computer's clipboard, and now I'm going to paste that into a notepad file so that I can save it onto my computer's hard drive. So it's just open up Notepad and then paste that in, and then I can save that to my desktop. Okay, I'm all done here, so I can close that, and now I'm going to come back to my dashboard, and I'm going to insert a plugin that's going to enable me to insert the AdSense code in, and the one that I'm going to use is this one, which is called Insert AdSense by Yuya Software. So if I come back to the dashboard, click on Plugins and Add New, and then we'll do a search for it here. And then search on the plugins. And there we go, this is the one I want. So click on Install Now and OK. And then click here to activate the plugin. And there we are, that's done. Now when I come down to Settings, I can see here Insert AdSense. So click on there. On what this particular plugin does is it inserts an AdSense code where you see these little icons, which you'll see when you post a post in your WordPress blog. And what you do is you take the AdSense code that you've just copied and then paste it into one of these boxes here. As you can see, you can have 5 different AdSense codes that you can have. So you can have 5 different size AdSense ad blocks that you can put into your WordPress blog posts. Okay, so that's done. So I'm going to click here, Update Options. And now I'm going to put a post in. So let's come to Posts and Add New. And you can see I click on the Visual tab. It's inserted these icons here. Alright, let's type in a post. We'll call this AdSense Test. And there we go. It's not showing up everything here because I've got a small screen size set, so some of it's gone off the edge there. But what you do after you've written your post is do a carriage return so that you're setting it up onto a new paragraph in between the first and second paragraph, and then click on the Add Code 1, which we've previously set up. So click here and you can see it's entering this piece of code, and then when I preview it, you see it's added the AdWords ads into the web post here. So what I can do now, you can simply go back here and click on Publish, and now I can view the real post here, and there we go. That's all done, and that's by far the easiest way of inserting AdSense into a blog post.